we make it really simple for the person to take action and get from A to B. Okay, that's the value. It's not the value that's in the content. The value lies in how quickly you can get them to that finish line, to solving that problem or achieving that transformation. Hey, welcome back to Imperfect Action. This is episode 730. Today, I'm talking about some of the signs that you might be ready to add an online course or another digital product to your business, whether that might be a group program, a membership, templates, some kind of one-to-many offering where you're taking your knowledge or your expertise and you are packaging it up into an offer that you can sell at scale where it doesn't require you trading time for money like you might have in a service or a coaching-based kind of business. One of the questions that always comes up is, how do I know if I am ready? And I know one of the big hesitations that comes up is, well, I'm not ready yet because I need to learn more first, or I need to grow my audience first, or I need to do this, I need to do that first. So you end up sitting around waiting to feel ready to create your online course. I hear this a lot. Honestly, this is one of the big hesitations that comes up a lot when somebody's thinking about joining Launch Magic. And I know that if those people are having those hesitations, I know that you might be as well as a listener. Now, I'll give you a bit of my background with course creation. So I created my very first course back in 2017. It was a course about Facebook ads because at the time I was a marketing consultant. I was running Facebook ads for clients as one of the services that I offered. And I was getting a lot of people who were pretty new to business inquiring about me running their Facebook ads. And then they would say, well, Steph, my budget is $500 a month. And what I realized, well, actually, it's going to cost you more than $500 a month for me to manage your ads. But if you spent that $500 a month on ads and you knew how to run them yourself, then you could get a return on that. So that was where the idea for that course came from. Was I the expert? Did I know everything about Facebook ads? No, I didn't. But I had enough experience with my own ads and with clients' ads to be able to show somebody who was in that situation in their business where they could spend that $500 a month to drive leads and generate sales in their business. Now, I no longer offer that course because Facebook ads, Meta ads now, it changes all the time. I didn't want to have to keep up to date with all of the changes, and I didn't want to constantly have to update that course. It's not really something I'm passionate about. So I retired that one back in 2019. But the main thing that I really want to touch on here is I wasn't the expert in Facebook ads. And that was fine because my ideal client didn't want to learn all of the different things. They didn't want to be an expert in Facebook ads. They just wanted to know the path to start running ads for their business that would generate leads and sales. And I had all of those same doubts and fears that I see coming up in my own students and in my own listeners who are thinking about starting some kind of digital product. I had the same doubts. Will anyone buy this? What if they don't find it valuable? What if there's not enough content in there and they're like, oh, I could have paid less for this. But when they actually got in and started taking action, they loved it because it was really simple, straightforward, and a clear process of action for them. So I guess that's the very first thing I want to touch on before we jump into the signs is that you don't need to be an expert. So if you're waiting until you know enough to be that expert, you're going to be waiting a really long time. So some signs that you are ready to create an online course or a membership or a program in your business. Number one, you have an area of expertise that you can share to help somebody to solve a specific problem or achieve a transformation, even if it is a really small problem or a really small transformation. But you have that expertise where you can guide them on that journey. For example, I have a course called the Podcast Launch Plan. I am not a podcasting expert, but I've been podcasting for long enough to know how to create a show and make it successful. And I had a lot of people in my audience asking me, hey, Steph, how do we start a podcast like yours? I had friends asking me that as well. So I took it out of my head. I documented the process and that became my product. And I don't teach all of the ins and outs of podcasting. I could teach you how to launch and grow your show and monetize it. There's so much I could teach about that, but I don't. It's one specific transformation, which is launch your podcast. Just get out of your head and into the podcast apps. That is the only transformation. It doesn't have to be this big signature thing where you teach all of the different steps. And I don't include all of the technical details. I don't include all of, like the difference between a USB and an XLR cable and the sound quality. And I don't talk about all of those things because my audience doesn't need to know that to get their show off the ground. I don't want to overwhelm them. I just want to get them from A to B even quicker. And one of the biggest mistakes that I see is overwhelming your students with way too much content and way too much detail, because you might be there creating it and you're like, oh, but what if they want to know about this? What if they are considering buying an XLR mic? Maybe I need to talk about the difference in how that's going to... No, we make it really simple for the person to take action and get from A to B. Okay, that's the value. It's not the value that's in the content. The value lies in how quickly you can get them to that finish line, to solving that problem or achieving that transformation. Now, in my free ebook, I have a digital product kickstart kit. It's 3 simple steps to start creating an online course, membership, or group program. If you want to grab that ebook, send me a DM on Instagram. I'm there at stephtaylor.co. Send me just the word kit, and I will send you a direct link to that. Or you can go to stephtaylor.co/kit and you will be able to download it over there as well. Okay, number 2. The second sign you are ready to add a course, program, membership, or other digital product is you don't want to take on more one-on-one clients, or you have hit an income ceiling where you can't earn any more without taking on more clients and working longer hours, but you're not quite at your income goal yet. And you don't have to be at this point before you create and launch your first digital product. I do want to say that. You don't have to wait until you're solidly booked with clients. You don't have to even want to work with clients if you don't want to. Okay, but this is something that I've noticed is really common with coaches and done-for-you service providers. I have in my audience, I have a lot of copywriters, designers, nutritionists, coaches who have all up to this point worked one-on-one, but then they've hit the ceiling where they can't make any more money without increasing their prices or working more hours. And they potentially don't want to increase their prices beyond the point that they're at, or they don't want to work more hours. And in some cases, they want to work fewer hours, which I'm a big fan of creating freedom where you can actually be away, you can enjoy your life where you're not at your laptop. But they can't free up their time without losing their income, because for each hour that they work, they can charge their clients. So they end up getting stuck in this cycle of having to keep working harder, and then they can't step away from their business without it all falling apart or without losing income. That is a great sign that you are ready to add some kind of one-to-many offering. Okay, number 3, you have people asking for help with the problem that your future offer solves or the transformation that it will deliver for them. For example, that Facebook ads course that I told you about at the start, I had people reaching out for help running their Facebook ads. They wanted me to run and manage their Facebook ads for them. With the podcast launch plan, I had people reaching out and asking me, hey, how do I start a podcast? And look, if you're new to business and you don't have an audience yet, you probably won't have people reaching out and asking these questions. But maybe you can get creative and look, like, what questions are people asking in Facebook groups? What do they want help with? What are they asking on Reddit? Where else are they hanging out? What questions are they asking? What do they need help with? Where are they struggling? And that's going to give you great ideas for an offer that will serve somebody that they will pay money for. This is a great sign that there is a market for it. It doesn't completely remove the need for market research. And I'm a big fan of pre-selling your offers before you create them as much as you can. So selling the course before you go and spend 12 months outlining it, because once you've sold it, then you'll know if there's a market for it, and you will end up creating it a lot quicker than 12 months because you won't be in perfectionist mindset. You'll be, let me get this done so I can serve my audience and I can learn from them where they get stuck. I can make it better. I can improve it over time, but it doesn't need to be perfect at the very start. Number 4, you want a way to help those who can't afford to work with you one-on-one. So I think back to one of my very first launch strategy clients, who is also my website and brand designer, Emma Troy. When she and I worked together many years ago now, she was only working one-on-one with clients. And through our work together, she came up with a beautiful launch strategy for her website templates. That for her now is a great way for her to help people without it being tied to her time and without them having to invest tens of thousands of dollars in custom brand design and website design. Okay. So creating some kind of one-to-many offering means that you can help people at a more affordable rate, which makes your offers much more accessible outside of the people who have a big budget. The caveat here, though, is that sometimes when people tell us they can't afford our services, it's not that they actually don't have the budget for it. It's more that they don't see why they should prioritize spending money on it right now, in which case a cheaper version might not actually get them across the line anyway. So you need to be really careful that your messaging is still good on your higher ticket offers. And if people are telling you it's too expensive for them, they can't afford it, we need to get really clear. Is it the wrong people? Is it that they need a lower ticket offer? Or is it that my messaging isn't showing them why they need to prioritize it? Or is it in fact maybe that this is a problem they don't have? They don't value spending money on this, or they don't need to solve this problem. We need to figure out which one this is first. But if you know that there is a market for a lower priced version of your one-on-one, then this can be a great sign that you are ready to create it if you have people who can't afford that higher ticket one-on-one. Number 5, you want a way to help the people who have already worked with you and now they have a new struggle that they need help with. So a good friend of mine, Beck Miller from Health with Beck, her main offer is her 3-week body reset. It's a 3-week weight loss program. But then once somebody has completed the 3-week body reset, they now need to maintain the awesome habits and the lifestyle that they have created. So it's created this new problem for them where they've been doing this awesome lifestyle for 3 weeks, but now they need to maintain it over the long run. And that's where her next offer, her membership, comes into play. And when somebody finishes working with you, potentially in a coaching capacity or in a service capacity, what's next for them? Could you create some kind of course or membership or some other kind of offer that solves the next problem that somebody has after they finish working with you? Because it is so much easier to keep working with the same clients and helping them again and again and again with each of the different problems that they are facing than it is to always try and bring in new clients into your business. And, there might be space for a course, or it might be a membership, or it might be something else completely different. It might even be some kind of ongoing support that you offer them. And this is one of the big things that I teach inside Offer Less, Sell More. I teach you to intentionally design and refine your offer suite so that you can make more sales, you can help more people, and you can escape that revenue roller coaster by taking your clients on a journey through the different things that you sell. Now, if you want more about Offer Less, Sell More, send me a DM on Instagram. I'm there at stephtaylor.co. Send me OLSM, just one word, those 4 letters, or you can head to stephtaylor.co/OLSM and you'll see everything you need to know about Offer Less, Sell More over there. Number 6, your audience isn't yet ready for your main offer. For example, with Launch Magic, one of the big hesitations that comes up and the big reasons that a lot of people tell me when I survey them after I close doors, I always survey the people who didn't buy. And often they will tell me the reason they didn't buy was because they have no idea what they are launching yet. That is why I created Offer Less, Sell More, because that solves a problem that makes somebody then ready to go and learn about how they can launch their offers. If your main offer is one-on-one and you want to keep offering that, there might be something that your ideal client needs help with before they are ready to buy your main offer. How can you potentially solve that with a course or a group program or something else? Or maybe there is something that someone who is one step before your ideal client, one step earlier in that journey, maybe there's something that they need to solve before they can become that ideal client. That can be a great opportunity for a course. Maybe it could be a workshop. I love teaching a live workshop if it's a really small, specific transformation. Maybe it's a group program. There's probably going to be something you can help them with there. And that can be a great sign that you are ready to add a digital product to your business. So there you have it, a couple of different signs that you might be ready to finally add that digital product. Chances are you won't have all of these signs, and that's okay. But if you have just 1 or 2 of them, that can be a really great sign that you are ready to go ahead. You're further ahead than you think you are. And, the worst that can happen is you pre-sell the offer and nobody buys and you can go back to the drawing board. Okay, that is the absolute worst that can happen. And you won't know until you put the offer out there. You can spend months and months planning it, outlining it, making it perfect. but you will never know whether somebody will buy it until they actually pay money for it. All right, that is it for today's episode. Now, if you haven't yet left a rating and a review in Apple Podcasts, I ask that you please take 30 seconds to do so. I read every single one of them. They get delivered to my inbox every Tuesday morning, and I love to read them because a lot of work goes into creating this show. So it means a lot to me when you take the time to leave that review. Thank you so much for listening. Catch you next time.